How's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander, and welcome to another review of the Pokemon Journey series. Today we're going to be covering episode 46, which involves Ash and Go facing off against Mewtwo. And wow, this was quite an interesting episode. So, before I get into the actual review, if you like this type of content and you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, as I cover this series on a weekly basis or whenever the episodes come out. Anyways, let's get into that review, shall we? So I gotta say, to start off this review, I really like this presentation they did at the beginning talking about the Pokemon world. They do this a lot in the Pokemon movies, but it was really nice to see it in this episode. And it looks like this was a presentation that Professor Sakuragi was presenting to the boys. And it turns out that there was some psychic energy that seemed to indicate that Mew was found on this island. And Ash and Go are super curious about it. And Go, obviously, is super curious because, of course, this kid wants to capture Mew. He wants to capture every Pokemon before catching Mew, but in this case, he wants to just go and see if Mew's there so he can just catch him right now. I like how Koharu, our queen, is finally back after how many episodes has it been? At least 5. She wasn't present in the entire Sword and Shield arc. So, she's finally back. Unfortunately, our queen doesn't have time to shine because, she has to go to school, and she actually kind of forgot about school for a second. She got really interested as to, Go's goal and kind of what Ash and Go were talking about. So, seems to indicate that Koharu is getting a little bit more interested in maybe traveling with Ash and Go. So, hopefully our queen can travel with these two boys sometime in the near future. But anyways, turns out that Mew's presence was found on this island. And the funny thing here is, Ash and Go, of course, want to go, and the professor's like, oh, well, I kind of assumed that you kids would want to go to this island. So before we even brought this up to you guys, I bought boat tickets for you two. So it's like, Professor Sakuragi, how do you have infinite money? Where are you stashing all this money? Could you tell us where you're getting this money from? But anyways, Ash and Go head off to search for Mew. Now, the first half of this episode mainly deals with Ash and Go exploring the island, and a bunch of shenanigans happen. So they're exploring, and they end up running into a Mankey, which Go catches and on the first try. Of course, because Go just has to catch every single Pokemon, and he has to catch it Pokemon Go style. Alright, anyways, this actually angers the pack of Mankey that this Mankey was part of, so they chase Ash and Go off, and they end up stopping. They're like, why'd they stop? It turns out that Ash and Go ran into a sinking bog. So, Ash is sinking. Go manages to get out before he starts sinking and takes out his Heracross and saves Ash and has Sobble soak Ash down. Now, they're trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to get across? And this is pretty interesting. So, Go takes out Caterpie and he uses String Shot, and they manage to essentially attach a rope so that they can climb across, which was pretty clever thinking, Go. I do find it a bit strange that the string shot was so strong that it was able to withstand Ash and Go's weight, but whatever. But anyways, they're heading across, and they get attacked by a Kingler and a Krabby. Well, not so much the Krabby, but the Kingler tries to keep getting Go, and almost gets him a couple of times. At one point, he almost falls straight into the bog, and Ash manages to save him at the last minute. But while they're trying to make it across, there's a Krabby in the way, and Go throws his Pokeball and catches this Pokemon. Literally catches this Pokemon while he's climbing. Smooth moves, Go, but they manage to make it across, even though that Kingler still keeps coming after them. So, yay, they made it across. Anyways, more shenanigans occur as Ash and Go are crossing the river, and they come across a Gyarados. I don't know, I just thought it was funny that this big Gyarados is in this river. Anyways, it's attacking them, and Go tries to capture this Pokemon, but unlike Mankey and Krabby, Gyarados ain't having any of that. He breaks out and he tries to attack Ash and Go again. Ash commands Pikachu to use Electro Web, which slows Gyarados down so Go can cross the river, and they just stand there and basically allow Gyarados to break out, who immediately Hydro Pumps them into the river and just leaves. Literally, Gyarados just leaves. He's just like, yeah, I just Hydro Pumped you guys. I'm just going to go this way. You guys go down the waterfall. Yeah, so anyways, they're going down the river. Go brings out Dugong to help them swim, and it turns out, yep, they're going down a waterfall. And they try to get out, but unfortunately, it's too late. They end up all falling down the waterfall. And that is the end of Ash and Go, unfortunately. Just kidding, they're just fine. Well, maybe not too fine. They did kind of fall off a waterfall, and that's kind of a big deal. But anyways, they're fine. They're in a mysterious area on the island. I'm not sure where they're at. There's a bunch of Pokemon that are there, but they're too afraid to approach Ash and Go. So Ash and Go, they start exploring the area they're at, and then they come across none other than Mewtwo, who's like, "Why are you on my property? Why humans aren't supposed to be here? Why are you boys here? Get out of here! Come on now, this is my place. I want my privacy, bros." All jokes aside, I just want to say that this scene was actually really important, in my opinion, for Go's goal going forward. So Mewtwo questions why Ash and Go are there. Go explains that he's there because he wants to capture Mew, which catches Mewtwo's attention, who finds it interesting, in which he questions that and asks, why do you want to capture this Pokemon? Go explains his goal, and then he explains that not only does he want to capture Mew, but he wants to capture every single Pokemon, including you. But Mewtwo's okay. He's just like, okay, so like, what about this goal? Why do you have to capture every single Pokemon and Mew, which leads you to Mew? Tell me why. And I really like this too, because Go basically explains his goal, in which he says he wants to understand Pokemon. He wants to understand every single Pokemon, and he believes by understanding every single Pokemon, that will lead him to Mew, who holds the DNA of every single Pokemon. Which I thought that was actually really good. I've always been questioning Go's goal as to why he's capturing all these Pokemon, and I actually thought this was actually really good for his development and really amplifies his goal a lot. So Go declares that he's going to capture Mewtwo, and Ash himself wants to battle Mewtwo because his goal is to become a Pokemon Master, become the strongest trainer. So Mewtwo's over here is like, yeah, I'm the strongest Pokemon. So are you willing to put your goals, to the test? Are you willing to put it on the line? If so, then battle me. So the battle between Ash and Go versus Mewtwo begins. It initially begins with Pikachu and Cinderace versus Mewtwo. And unfortunately, nothing they do actually seems to work. Like, literally, Mewtwo is just repelling their attacks left and right. And actually hits Pikachu with a Shadow Ball, which slams against this rock wall. And Ash has to catch Pikachu before it falls and probably dies. And I actually thought that was kind of brutal. Pikachu just slamming against this rock wall like that. Anyways, Pikachu's down and out. So Ash has to bring out Lucario. And this is where the battle gets really interesting, in my opinion. I mean, I will say, Mewtwo is just stomping them. Literally nothing Cinderace and Lucario do works on Mewtwo. Like, literally nothing. But they come up with a pretty interesting strategy. Ash has Lucario use a double team. And then Go has Cinderace use Pyro Ball. And he's hiding himself among the, I guess you can call it Shadow Clones. Because Lucario is Naruto confirmed. Anyways, they end up doing a combination attack in which all the Shadow Clones of Lucario use Aura Spear, while Cinderace does literally a giant Power Ball, and sends all of this at Mewtwo. Unfortunately, Mewtwo puts up a barrier and blocks it. And Mewtwo's over here like, yeah, that was pretty impressive. Let me show you something even stronger. So Mewtwo literally whips out a Shadow Ball that turns into like a literal giant Rasengan, Spirit Bomb, Death Ball, Frieza's Death Ball from Dragon Ball Z. Literally pulls this out and is like, yeah, take this. And just throws it right at Ash and Go. And somehow they don't get vaporized. But yeah, Ash and Go, Cinderace, Lucario, they're all down and out. Yeah. Kind of what it was expected. There's no way that Ash and Go would have won this battle, at least not easily. After the battle concludes, Mewtwo approaches Ash and Go and questions them on their goals again. And Ash and Go affirm to Mewtwo, yeah, we're not giving up on our goals. It's because we have our friends. And Mewtwo realizes that Ash and Go, they're good humans and they form bonds with their Pokemon and comments on that. But he tells, the two boys, yeah, not all humans are like that. And they realize that, yeah, those Pokemon that were with Mewtwo, yeah, they were likely either abandoned by humans or they were abused by humans or something. They don't really outright say it, but Go realizes that Mewtwo actually helps Pokemon that are in danger from humans or just in danger period or abandoned or whatever and takes them under his wing. So, pretty noble of you, Mewtwo. But anyways, yeah, the area that they're in, it's not for humans to be at. But I thought this part was really interesting as Mewtwo is taking off. He tells Ash and Go that they're frail, fleeting, and immature. But that's exactly what gives them so much potential. And that's when Mewtwo disappears. Ash and Go, Cinderace, Lucario, and Pikachu wake up. And they're like, wow, that was a crazy battle we just had. Where are we? And they happen to be right outside the Sakuragi labs. Literally, Mewtwo just teleported them all the way back to the labs. Pretty interesting. So Mewtwo apparently knows where Ash and Go are at now, so he could show up at any time and be like, hey guys, I'm going to hand you more L's. But all jokes aside, anyways, Koharu was like, hey, what are you guys doing back here? And I thought this was kind of funny because nobody's really questioning why Ash and Go just suddenly popped up here. But the episode comes to an end with the two boys approaching the lab. So I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed today's episode. I thought it was a very solid episode, and there's quite a lot to like about it. So I want to talk about things I enjoyed in this episode. So the first thing I want to mention is Go's usage of his Pokemon in this episode. So if you saw my video, Pokemon Journeys 1 year later, you'll know in that video I wasn't a big fan of Go's goal overall, and how his usage of his Pokemon, how a lot of them feel like they're just fading into the background, not being utilized like they should be. And that's a bit of a consequence because the kid wants to capture every single Pokemon. So, unfortunately, there's going to be Pokemon that are not going to be seen very much. But I want him to start diversifying his team and start bringing out some Pokemon he doesn't really utilize too much in the future so that they get some time to shine. And Go kind of did that in this episode. But when he brought his Pokemon out in the first part of this episode, they were brought out for a specific reason. He brings out Heracross in order to save Ash, who is in a sinking bog. He brings out Caterpie in order to use String Shot to get across the sinking bog, to climb on the String Shot. And then we have Dugong, which he utilizes when Ash and Go fall into the river, and they're subsequently going down the waterfall. So each of these Pokemon played a specific role in the episode, and I thought that was really cool. I definitely want to see that more often as we go further into Journeys. But my favorite part in this episode is Go's goal being basically explained here, as Mewtwo is essentially the audience here. He's questioning Go. He's questioning, why does Go want to capture every single Pokemon? Why is that going to lead him to catching Mew? What's the correlation? What's the purpose? Tell me, Go. Why do you want to do this? And I love it. Go, he's doing this because he loves Pokemon. He wants to know everything about Pokemon. He wants to bond with Pokemon. So by catching every single Pokemon, he'll be able to achieve that dream. And Mew holds the DNA of every single Pokemon, so by understanding every single Pokemon and catching them, it will lead him to Mew. And I gotta say, that was amazing. That not only strengthens Go's goal, but it makes everything about him, like catching all these Pokemon, it makes it a whole lot better. He does need to work on his captures, but this definitely strengthens his goal, and I love it. Now, I will say this is not a perfect episode, and it's definitely not my favorite Journeys episode. It's still a very good episode, don't get me wrong, but it's not a perfect episode. I felt like the first half, the pacing was a bit slow, and I felt like certain sections of the episode took a little bit too long, and as a result, we only got Mewtwo for the latter half of the episode. I wanted more time with Mewtwo. That's all I'm saying. We got a good amount of time with Mewtwo, but I would like more, personally, because this is a pretty important Pokemon, and we only got half an episode with him. Just saying. But another nitpick I have is Mankey's capture and then Krabby's capture. Krabby's capture I'm less annoyed with because that was captured a bit uniquely, because Go was climbing across String Shot when he did it, so that was pretty cool. But Mankey, he just threw the Pokeball and caught it on the first try. Can we not? Can we get rid of that? Can we not have that happen so often? I don't know. Again, that's one of my nitpicks of Journeys, so I don't want to see that too much anymore. But I know they're gonna keep doing it, as seen in this episode. But whatever. But overall, it's still a great episode in my opinion. And that's all I got for this episode review. So overall, a very solid episode. Mewtwo's return was nice. Go's goal being reinforced was really nice and strengthened. Let's hope he diversifies his team more and more in the future so we see some of these Pokemon we don't see very often. So, I'm going to give this episode a solid 8.5 out of 10. So guys, in the comment section down below, what'd you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll talk to you guys later. You all stay safe out there and have a great day or night wherever you're at. Peace.